Okay, so here we are. I'm going to do a quick live thing. Right, so I'm just going to hit off with Vic the Beatito, and then we're going to go into what I'm going to do. Right.
Oh, look, he just spit! Hey, what do you hear? What do you say? My Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, your sister's ass, the Pony Express. A very ticked off Vic here. You know what ticks me off? Some people who pick out the stupidest, most mundane, unimportant things in a video, no matter what the point is that I'm trying to make in the video. Let me explain. 99.999% of my fans are the greatest. They just get it. They watch the videos, they laugh, they post a simple LOL. They just get it. Those are my true blue loyals and my newcomers I get each and every day. And I am so thankful and just so thankful. Then there's 1%, of course, no matter what you say, it turns into a fucking political shit fest. I could do a rant about a rock or a tree branch or a kitten and no, Trump, Biden, Trump, conservative, liberal, scumbag, fuck you, eat shit, you're an asshole, you're a Nazi, you're a commie, you're a liberal. Then there's the 1%. You know, I know they mean well, and they're probably good people, but I actually feel sorry for them. I wonder how they get through a day, let alone a lifetime. It's the ones that notice the stupidest thing, like for instance, I get, why do you wear the seatbelt when you're in your car? You're parked. Well, it's quite simple. After I do a ticked off Vic, I drive to a fucking store. I go to the cleaners or the post office, or I get gas. I go somewhere. So it's a habit. You get in the car, you put the fucking seatbelt on. So I get in the car, put the seatbelt. I do a tick off and I pull out and I go somewhere. Is that what you got out of the fucking video? That why I had the seatbelt on because I'm parked? Well, how about this? Oh, look at all the orbs flying around him. It's a high definition phone. What the fuck do you want from me? What do you, I got the Turbo 12 Max, Turbo fucking Max Super fucking, but I don't know, I don't see the orbs. I see the orbs after I watch the fucking, is that what you got out of it? Instead of the fucking point I'm trying to make in a video, holy shit. These are the kind of people, they'll watch The Godfather, and they'll say, oh, look, Marlon Brando's tie is crooked. Holy shit. Oh, look, he just spit. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking spit. It's my fucking car. I'll clean it. What do you give a shit if I'm spitting on my fucking car? I got tested negative. Mind your fucking business. Enjoy the fucking video. Enjoy the point I'm trying to make in a fucking video. Instead of the seatbelt, the orbs, and the spit. That's what fucking ticks me off. People who notice the stupidest shit that have nothing to do with the fucking video.
Right, so so now we're going to go into going to go into the actual video that I want to bring. This is Christopher Hitchens. What did Margaret Thatcher do for Britain? Iron Lady in British politics, 1987. Right, this is 1980 fucking 7. Shit, this is going back in fucking history, man. Right. 1987, she got her third fucking election, become the Prime Minister for another fucking 5 years. And, you know, she spent like fucking 14, 15 years in fucking office, man. Anyway, so we're going to go back to the beginning of this, right? We're going to show you, this is British politics back in the 1980s, right? And it's very important that you watch and understand this fucking shit. They will talk about it later and then we'll go over it. And I'm going to skip a few things ahead, but, you know, let's go. Margaret Thatcher's just been re-elected in her constituency, which means that she's still an MP, and therefore she can still remain as, because if she'd lost her seat, she could still remain as the Prime Minister if she lost her seat, but it would have been something that people don't do in Britain. She would have to have stepped aside. But she won her election in her constituency, and this is what happened.
For the excellent preparations you have made, both for the Count and for the conduct of the election throughout the borough. We're very grateful for the efficient way in which you have got the count through somewhat earlier than on the last occasion, and also grateful to those who spent the entire day in the polling booths. May I also say how much we appreciate the work of the police in guarding our security here and at all times. It is a great honour to be returned once again to represent the constituency of Finchley.
Not for us, it isn't.
It is a great honour for me that the citizens of Finchley have returned me once again to represent them. The only power we have in this country, in a democratic free country, is the power we draw from the ballot box. Now, I am, of course, particularly glad to have obtained more than 50% of the votes, which is very satisfactory. May I also thank, above all, those who have supported me in my campaign for their tremendous enthusiasm, dedication and affection. Without you, it could not possibly have been done. I'm most grateful. Thank
you. I do have to just jump in here. I'm not absolutely sure on the statistics here, but I think she was re-elected, on something like, I think it was like 46% of the electorate that could voted in the election. So she got over 50% of 46% of the. This is what you get in America as well. People say, "Oh well, I got an overwhelming, vote." You know what I mean? I got 53% of the vote. And then you look at how many people who could vote, actually voted. It's like 46%. Of people voted, so they only got 53% of 46%, and it's like, if you could get 100%, see, if people would just fix the fucking electoral system, everybody's eligible to vote, and everybody can just fucking go on their mobile fucking phone, and just go, and just turn your fucking phone on and go, like, blah blah blah, go to fucking, the electoral fucking site. Yeah, there we go. Right, so there's the code thing. Right, there we go. I've got to type that in. So then, you fucking connect. You write your code down, right, and then you connect to your fucking, you connect to your electoral fucking thing, and you go in there, and then you say, okay, continue, and then you type your fucking code in. Yeah, just go and you type your code in. Right, they recognise your code because it's sent to your phone, not to anybody else's phone. It's sent to your phone, and then you just say, "Yep, I vote for that person. I vote for that person, and I vote for that person. And I vote for that person. I vote for that fucking, whatever it is that you go. No, gays have got to turn themselves in, or whatever it is they're going to say, or Mexicans have to hand themselves in at the border, but blah blah blah. You vote for that shit, and then bang, it's done. You say yes. You put your code in. Yeah. Now, why can't we fucking do it on a fucking mobile phone, right? I mean, they know the phone number they're calling. It's registered to you. You are registered, and you register your phone when you register to vote, and then they just geek through your phone. Why can't we fucking do that shit? How hard would that fucking be? I mean, for fuck's sake, you can buy almost anything on the fucking internet, right? Almost any fucking thing. And you can pay for it through your fucking phone. How can you not vote through your phone? Why do you have to fucking send letters in, or turn up at a fucking school somewhere, or a fucking building somewhere, and catch fucking COVID? Why can't you do it through your fucking phone? What the fuck? Who doesn't have a phone in America? Very, 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 very poor people don't have a phone, so maybe they have to turn up. But how long are they going to wait when everybody else is doing it through their phone? They're not going to wait. They're going to walk in and say, yeah, my name is what. And maybe you just register, when you register to vote, they register your fucking thumbprint. And then you go and you put it on one of these electronic fucking thumbprint fucking things. I mean, people fucking lock and open their phones with a thumbprint. Can't you fucking do that with your fucking electoral register? And then go in and say, there's my thumbprint. Okay, give me a bit of paper. Bam, 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 bam. There you go. Shove it in the box. And, what the fuck is going on, man? How can we not sort this shit out? Anyway, right. So Margaret Thatcher,
Domestic speech.
1987, got the
Jeremy Shermer, what does the re-election of Margaret Thatcher mean for the United States?
In my judgment, there are going to be three main consequences. First of all, it will get rid of the degree of uncertainty about NATO and American bases in Britain,
which was fine back in the 1980s, but then Trump got elected and he pulled out the fucking NATO, or he was trying to. He was trying to pull out the NATO and try to tell all the European countries, fuck you, I don't want to, my pals are Putin, Kim Jong-il, and some crazy guy down in the Philippines. That's my pals. You Europeans are, that America's been enjoined with since fucking 1948. Fuck yous, you know what I mean? This is why America is looked on now and laughed at, because you had Trump, who fucking did that shit. Wasn't this guy talking about the 1980s?
which have been introduced by the Labour Party's campaign. Secondly, it seems to me to mean that there will be a continuation of the expectation on the part of Britain, at least, of a special relationship with the United States, and there can be a certain degree of expectation on the part of the US government that there will be in international affairs a voice in Britain which will be generally in support of United States policy. Thirdly, but this becomes a little more uncertain, there is the element in Thatcher's approach which is looking to the United States as a model from which Britain may learn. And so in this particular respect, there's an element.
And how is that fucking worked out for Britain? A model that we can learn from. And yes, Margaret Thatcher brought Reaganisation into fucking Britain, and we are fucking fucked now because of it. Since the 1980s till now, 2001, Britain has become more fucked and more fucked and more fucked every fucking year. Because we didn't go down the road of British ideology, we went down the road of fucking American ideology. And look at America now. Look at how fucked America is now, and I guarantee you in 5 or 10 years' time, Britain's going to be, we're fucked now, but we're going to be just as fucked as America is in fucking 10 years. God damn it. Thatcher, she was, no. Don't get me wrong, Thatcher did 2 or 3 things that I agreed with, but she did 90 fucking 8 things that I fucking disagreed with.
Element of flattery of the United States, and also a certain degree of compatibility in ideology and outlook with the present US government.
Christopher Hitchens, same question. What does the re-election of Margaret Thatcher mean for America?
Well, it doesn't alter the fact that there is still in Britain a large majority in favour of the removal of American bases. And if the election had been on that alone, the Labour Party would have won it. It's to Labour's sorrow and chagrin that they couldn't make that the issue. If that were the issue, Jeremy would be utterly wrong.
And I could say the same thing about fucking the Democrats in America, in the last election. They couldn't actually make the argument that this was about Trump. This was about QAnon and crazy people and conspirators who believe that the earth is flat but didn't land on the moon. The 9/11 was a fucking red flag, and no school has ever been fucking shut up by real people. It was all fucking faked and done by fucking Hollywood. Now, I don't know America. Some people out there believe that. In fact, I think it's fucking almost 49% of you. But yeah, this was 1987, and this guy was fucking talking about how fake all that shit in America was and it was going to come to Britain, and now it's here in fucking Britain. We've got people marching about the streets saying COVID doesn't exist. Take your masks off. Yeah, really? Really?
Majority of my fellow countrymen and women don't want to be an outpost of Ronald Reagan's foreign policy, which brings me to the second implication, which is after the leader of the free world and president of the United States and chief executive made such a complete and abject fool of himself and of your country in Venice. Recently.
What exactly are you referring to?
I'm referring to his inability to concentrate, to remember, to muster even the paltry knowledge of issues that an average newspaper reader would have. I mean, the same.
Reagan couldn't remember a fucking thing about policy or fucking what was going on in that area of the world. Had not read his fucking documents that was handed to him by his fucking intelligence service. Does this remind you of anybody? And he was a good fucking president compared to Trump. He was a good fucking American president compared to Trump. And this guy is telling you he couldn't remember shit and made a complete fucking cock up of it. Back in 1980s, he made a complete cock up of it. God damn.
The same farcical incompetence that he manifests at home, that we see him towards the tail end of a disgraceful presidency. And we see in the wings this extraordinary woman who has never really accepted the idea that Britain is second rate, in any sense of the term, and who really does, I think, begin to preen herself for the role of elder statesman of the West. And
you got to remember, this is her third fucking term. She's been in office for fucking for 10 years. She's going to be in office for another 5. She still hasn't instigated any fucking plausible fucking idea of how to re-educate the fucking, the country. How to move people from one industry to another by re-educating them and retraining. She hasn't put any money into that. What she has done is bailed out fucking, car manufacturers. She's put billions of fucking pounds, not dollars, pounds, into fucking letting foreign agencies come in. We will pay for you to build your manufacturing plant. They're there 5 years and then they fucking shut it down, fuck off and take the money. And Britain's left holding the fucking purse. This is what Thatcher did. She paid foreigners to come in to set up factories. We built the government paid for them to build their factories. That's what fucking Thatcher fucking governed over. Does this remind you about anything in America? No. Oh, God.
Having seen a bit of it in England, I can't in any way encourage you to look forward to it spreading as a general thing.
I just like to talk a little bit about style. We just watched that clip where the Prime Minister was speaking and what we might call heckling was coming from other members of Parliament. We would find that very strange, although it does happen on occasions, not to the Prime Minister or the President.
Well, the only time I remember any heckling happening in America is when Obama was doing a speech, the State of the Union, and somebody shouted out, "You lie." I think that's the only time I've ever seen anybody heckle anybody in America. Whereas, well, I suppose I should show you the very start, right there. Okay.
Deputy Returning Officer trying to restore order and have people removed from the car.
It's come to as a shock not just to pundits.
For fighting a clean and decent and excellent and admirable campaign. And I must say, being at Finchley, I would have been one of the hecklers, and I hope I'd have come up with something somewhat better than the rather sort of loutish interjections that they managed. I have in my time, I like to think I'm better than that. I thought that she was able to brush it aside too much. Harold Macmillan, the most imperturbable Conservative Prime Minister since the war, said in his memoirs that he used to sometimes go and have to be sick before facing question time in the House of Commons. Nobody knew it at the time. You wouldn't have known it to look at him. That's how serious.
This is the difference between American politicians and British politicians. British politicians know they're going to go and they're going to get heckled. People are going to shout things at them about what they've done and how they've not fucking, made your life better, and your policies are shit. You're a fucking, fascist and all, people shout that. And these people, before they go out there onto the stage, he's saying, some of these politicians, these prime ministers, have actually had to go to the bathroom and throw up with the adrenaline coursing through them, knowing that they're going to go out there and they're going to be shouted at by their peers. The people who are on the same level, that they're going to have to put up with them shouting and screaming at them. I'm sure you've seen some of the stuff you see on, TV about the House of Commons when they come out and they're all shouting like that. I mean, this is real for these people. I mean, these are the people they've got to convince to vote for their policies, and they're screaming and shouting at each other. You don't see that in the fucking, the Senate or the House. It's all very prim and proper, and you're out of order, quiet, you don't see like the Speaker of the House in England. Whoa, you child, why are you speaking up? You're like a boy who hasn't had custard yet. Mr. So-and-so, you will have to sit down. Sit down or we will remove you from the chamber. You don't get that in America. We get it in fucking Britain, mate. You fucking get that in Britain, right? Because, these people need to be held accountable by the people who are their peers. They don't care about people, chanting outside with banners, but they care about what's said in the House, where they sit and where they have to debate and talk to each other. It's important. Not in America, because it doesn't fucking matter. You've got two sides, whereas in Britain, we have like multiple sides. We've got the Labour, we've got Conservative, we've got the Green Party, we've got the fucking, the North, we've got the, what do you call it? Well, in the North, Scotland, we've got Scotland. We've got the Welsh, we've got the fucking, Ireland, Northern Ireland. You know what I mean? So there's all these small parties, and you're obviously trying to claw some of them onto your side. You don't get that in fucking America. It's just one party on one side and one party on the other, and whoever's got the fucking upper hand, whoever can shout, you don't even shout at each other. Fuck me. All you do is just, one person says I'm going to filibuster. They don't even have to filibuster anymore. They don't need to have to sit in the house, that old movie where, I don't know his fucking name, stood there and talked for us and fainted and all that. You don't get that anymore. You've even reduced it from actually having to filibuster, having to talk for fucking hours and hours. You've done that away. The filibuster now is just, I'm filibustering it, and then you fuck off and do shit. And the filibuster is just he stated he's filibustering, but he's not on the floor talking. He just fucks off. How the fuck can you fucking run a democracy where people are not willing to sit there and fucking shout and bawl and talk for fucking hours and hours about how they're upset about something? No, they just say, I'm going to filibuster this. Right. It's noted, and then he fucks off and goes and shags his fucking, his fucking girlfriend or some fucking thing. Thinking, I stopped all that, there's no more fucking debate now. What? He should have to stay there and fucking speak and speak and speak and speak. Even if he's got to read fucking Green Eggs for fucking, 300 fucking hours, he's got to be there and piss in a fucking bucket or some fucking thing. But no, America's even done away with that, right?
They have to take it. I like to echo Jeremy's point. I imagine Reagan having to face anything at the time. I noticed, though, that she avoided one of the conventions of these counts, where you graciously accept your victory and thank the police and the returning officer. She completely forgot to thank her opponents for fighting a clean and decent and excellent and admirable campaign. And I must say, I fear that that's not just a portent for the future, but very much part of her present style, which is to forget that there are any other people.
You see what you said there? It used to be that at the end of an election, you didn't just thank the police and all the counters and all the people who voted for you and the people who worked for you on your side. You thanked the other side for running a clean, campaign. And he was saying that, no, she didn't do that. And that might be a sign. This is 1987. That might be a sign of the future, when you don't even recognise that there is an opposition and thank them for running against you and having a Queen campaign. God damn, is that not what fucking America looks like now? When you're no longer recognising that there's another party on the opposite side, but you're now saying they're all fucking fraudsters and stealers and looters and they're stolen the election. You know what I mean? Is that you're not thanking them for having an honest, open debate and no, the best person would no. You're calling them out for the even before the fucking election was run. Trump was saying they're all fraudsters and looters and they're going to steal it. You know what I mean? What the fuck? 1987 in Britain, and this guy fucking called it. Thatcher refused to accept that the other people, even mentioned that other people ran a good campaign. And that was before America was doing it. So Reagan fed into fucking Thatcher, and then Thatcher fed into America. That's my take from this, you know.
Country, or if there's anyone who disagrees with that.
The British election is over, and Margaret Thatcher has won an historic third term. Tonight we'll be discussing that for about the next 90 minutes. And our guests are two experts, and I guess you know by now they're both from England. Jeremy Shermer is Senior Research Fellow now for the Institute of Humane Studies at George Mason University here in Fairfax, Virginia. And Christopher Hitchens is Washington correspondent for The Nation and The New Statesman. We'd like to first start off by talking about how big was Margaret Thatcher's victory as far as the majority, the working majority.
It was fucking huge.
Well, as I understand it, the figures that are being given at the moment is that she'll have an overall majority of between 104 and 106. It is down about 40 on what she had before. On the other hand, it was pretty clear that no one, I think, was expecting that she would get a majority quite this large. It has come as a shock not just to pundits, but also, it was pretty clear last night from shots on US television, to members of her own cabinet. It will make the small loss of seats that there's been will make no practical difference at all in terms of the conduct in politics in Britain.
To give you a reference to, like, you know, the majority that Thatcher had in her third term, right? The House in America, I think their majority is something like 46 or something. In the House, in the Senate, the majority is 1. Only if they can keep on board the two fucking, what I would call Republicans who got elected as Democrats. Mnuchin and some bird, some I can't remember her name. But, you know, I mean, I can't remember, you know. Fuck's sake, there's 50 fucking states, you know, I can't remember that. It takes me fucking hard enough time to understand what the fuck's going on in British politics without remembering American politics. Well, every single state and every single fucking, you know, senator and shit, right? Anyway, so the Democrats are supposed to have a majority of 50, well, my majority of 51, if Kamala, you know, Kamala, I don't know her name, right? If she steps in and does the, you know, 50-50s, you know, I'm going to have the deciding vote. But you've got to remember, Mnuchin and that other bird, they could vote with the Republicans. And then it's fucking 52 against 48. And Kamala Harris, there you go, got her name. She doesn't have a vote, right? And this is the problem the Democrats have got. They've got two Republicans, you know what I mean, two wolves in sheep clothing, as Democrats, who are going to vote with the Republicans every now and then because they're fucking, you know, wolves in sheep clothing. Anyway, that shouldn't be allowed either. If you're fucking a Democrat, you should have to vote with the majority. That should be the decided thing. If the majority votes on it, you should all fucking stick together. That's what the Republicans do. Now, there's lots of Republicans who are what you would call moderate Republicans, but they always vote with the fucking caucus. They always vote with the Republic because they know that's how you stand together. Right? Democrats, no, they're always fucking breaking off and fracturing and fucking voting against each other, and you know, it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? God damn. If I had a gang like that, I'd fucking stab the fucker, and you know, yeah. Right, we need to get something. Okay, It's a blue state, yeah. So it's a blue governor, yeah. So you elect, you put someone, a Democrat in there going to vote. Yeah, I'll murder that fucker. Anyway, I know it's bad for me to say this shit, but what the fuck, Mnuchin? Why the fuck has Mnuchin not been taken out, man? What the fuck?
That is still then a good working majority.
Yeah, I think I would give it higher marks than Germany.
Yeah, higher marks. Yeah,
For
it's a astounding fucking majority.
in the opinion polls. And he's had to be Prime Minister of the country through two quite tempestuous parliaments. To get a third mandate at this level is an extraordinary achievement. It has to be granted.
If she isn't personally popular, how did she do it?
Because, and I'm sorry to keep on contrasting her to the leader of the free world, she would rather be respected than liked. My view of, for example, Ronald Reagan is he's a person who above all wishes.
And this is what I've got to say. British people, we don't have to like a person to sort of vote for them or understand and like what they've done. We respect the person as in how they act. Now, I've got to say, Margaret Thatcher, through her whole 3 premiers, you know what I mean, she always portrayed herself as who she was. She stood up for Britain, for the British people, for the sovereignty of Britain. So even people like myself who voted Labour at the time, I was a Labour voter at the time, I respected her understanding of where I thought Britain was and what I thought of my country. So I respected her. So yes, she had my respect, although I didn't like her. I didn't like her as a person, I didn't like her as a politician, but I respected her as a politician for being open with for what she stood for. I could understand what she stood for, and I could differentiate by why I would vote for her or someone else. And I did vote for someone else, but I still respected her as a politician, right? I don't know that I respect all your American politicians because they say one fucking thing when they're running for office and then they do a totally different thing when they're getting... I can't respect someone like that. I cannot respect someone who changes their mind, flip-flops, from how they got elected and what they do after. No, you're a fucking piece of shit, right? That's why I never respected most of the American, presidents.
Wishes to be loved. Thatcher doesn't care about that. She demands respect. And though you can find many people in Britain who do not like her, including a large number of members of her own party, including of her own cabinet, who personally find her detestable, you will not find anyone who thinks she's a contemptible figure or a figure of fun. And I won't push the parallel any further.
Tell me about Margaret Thatcher's government as far as her policies. We know about Ronald Reagan's policies. Describe what it's like in Britain under a Thatcher regime.
Under a Thatcher regime, there's been a deliberate attempt to try to shift Britain's institutions in the direction of a more market-based society.
Yeah, so what he's saying is, under the Thatcher, she looked to the institutions, like the NHS, the what do you call it, the job, what do you call it? You got you've got when you become unemployed, you go and you register with a job in a government job market. You go there and they give you a certain amount of money each week until you get employed. But you have to prove that you're looking for work. You have to go there every fortnight and say these are how many jobs I've applied for and how many interviews I've got and stuff like that, right? So you're forced to provide evidence that you're looking for work in order to get that, weekly, or fortnightly check that you get, to pay for your food and electricity. Obviously, if you're unemployed, you automatically get your rent covered and stuff like that, right? That's paid by the government while you're unemployed. But you have to prove you're unemployed and that you're looking for work, right? So what Thatcher did is she started to change these institutions and say, well, we're not going to give you as much money towards it. So we'll give you 8% your rent, but you're going to have to find it. Now, if you're unemployed and you're getting an unemployment check that's supposed to pay for your electricity and food and getting your kid to school, and now you've got to take 20% of that to pay for your rent. You understand what I'm saying? She was gradually making it so that people who were unemployed, by the way, this didn't work with businesses. Businesses were getting all the money they wanted. See, when a business was going under, they could just just like in America, they could file for bankruptcy, they could fucking lay off their workers, and they could retire with millions, you know what I mean? But the people, 30 workers, 50 workers, they all went onto the dole, and now they have to pay 20% of the rent, which they can't afford to pay because they're basically getting fucking nothing, you know what I mean? They're getting enough. They say you're entitled to £78 a week for food, and you're entitled to £30 towards your electricity and your rent. So you're getting £110 because you've got 3 kids. If you've got 2 kids, it's it's £100. If you've got 1 kid, it's £98. Right? So, but then they say that, we're not going to pay your rent. The council's not paying your rent anymore. You have to pay 20% of that money. So you're getting £100 a week with a kid, a mother, a father, and a kid. You're getting £100 a week. And now you've got to take £20 off of that and pay your rent. So now you've got, instead of 100, you've got 80 quid. Now 80 quid, you've got to pay your electricity, your gas, the gas for your fucking car, whatever, you know what I mean, or your bus fares, your train fares to go into the city and fucking look for work and sign on to the local brew, the dole. It's the dole. I suppose in America, what is it? In America, you've got to go and sign on somewhere as unemployed, we call it the dole or the brew in Britain, right? So you've got to go there, and every week you've got to go down there and you've got to sign on, say, yeah, I'm still unemployed, and you've got to show them evidence that you've been looking for work. And they'll check some of these numbers. They'll phone some of these people, so phone you and ask for an interview, all that sort of stuff. Right? So they're checking. So the government's spending hundreds of millions of pounds to check up on you, but they can't afford to give you enough money to pay your rent, feed your kids and get them to school while you're looking for work. But a billionaire whose fucking company's going under, it's great, they've got all this fucking shit they can claim back, and I haven't made any money this week, I had to lay off fucking 10 workers, you know what I mean? So that's put my productivity down, so I can fucking claim that back on tax, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're getting all the fucking claim back. You go to the door and say, yeah, can I claim back in tax? No, you got no tax claim back, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. You bought food, you bought fucking petrol for your car, no, you don't get any of that money back. That's down to you. You've got to pay for all that on your 100 fucking quid a week. You know what I mean? Oh God, these fucking assholes.
In the expectation that this will give more opportunity to everybody.
More opportunity for trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics. They give money to the fucking, the companies. And they hope that that's going to trickle down and give you more options to go and get a job. But if all these fucking businesses are all going out of business, nobody's hiring, so they keep pumping money into the businesses. The billionaires keep taking fucking golden parachutes and fucking off out of it. And you, looking for a job, you're the one at the fucking bottom end. Your taxes are paying for all this shit. By the way, they tax everything you get. I mean, okay, they give you £100 a week, but you buy food, some of that food's got fucking VAT on it. You know what I mean? You buy fucking gas for your car to drive somewhere for an interview, VAT on it. So you're still paying tax, but the billionaire, he's sitting back saying, no, I just sit in my house and fucking tell other people what to do, and I just sack the ones I can't afford anymore. He's saving money every time he sacks somebody, and the government's giving him more tax cuts, And you know, these people being unemployed, they're all out there saying, more money for the government, more money for the government. And the government's saying, we're cutting fucking corporation tax. We're cutting tax on fucking businesses. We're cutting, tax on fucking, we're not going to tax the stock market. That might, people might go somewhere else and buy stocks. Really? Really? You can't put a 0.005% fucking tax on every transaction in a fucking, a stock exchange? Why not? 0.005% tax on every, stock fucking buy or sell. Why not? I mean, if somebody makes £1 billion, 0.005, if somebody makes £100, 0.005, no, they couldn't put that on. That'd be too much. Oh my God, that would destroy the fucking economy. You know what I mean? But they're putting, I've got 20% fucking VAT on everything I buy now. 20%. The fucking stock exchange can't fucking absorb a 0.005%. Fucking, are you fucking kidding me?
This has been accomplished by Mrs. Thatcher in the Conservative Party from what in certain respects is not too healthy a starting point. What I mean by that is that typically Conservative supporters will be people who are not all that open to change, who certainly may be people with a business background or concerns of that sort, but who wouldn't necessarily be too open to the kind of radicalism that Mrs. Thatcher's approach in certain respects espoused.
Radicalism. It would be radical to put any tax on people who make hundreds of millions or billions a year. That would be radical. But increasing VAT, which applies to every single citizen across the whole country, that's not radical. Let's just increase that by 2.5%.
Houses. What she's done, and this has been commented on from quite a wide perspective, is to have combined an appeal in the economic area of a great deal of radicalism, together with a reaffirmation of traditional values, together also with a certain kind of patriotic approach in matters of foreign policy, which the Falkland Islands, I think, was particularly convenient last time for her to do. There's a very distinctive package that's been put together, and it's something which has managed to push through changes which I guess a number of people would have thought in Britain would have been pretty difficult to push through, but which really does have these three and quite distinctive elements to it.
Yes, and let me tell you one of the things that Thatcher pushed through. She pushed through a tax on people's houses. Say you lived in a 3-bedroom house, but you're a married couple, right? So 3-bedroom house, married couple, you're only using 1 bedroom, supposedly, right? Because you're supposed to be sleeping in the same bed. That means you've got like a sitting room, a bedroom and another bedroom which is empty. So they put a £15 a week tax on that empty bedroom. Now you could have been using that, if you're a small business, you could be using that as an office. In which case, you can claim the tax, you can claim that £15 back. Right, but say for instance you're a small family, right, and your son's just turned 18 and he's went to college, so his room's empty. Now you're paying £15 for that empty room because your son's at university or whatever. He's living in university digs. So now you've got an empty room and you're paying £15 a week council tax for that fucking bedroom because your son's in university. I thought the whole idea was to get people to go and get more educated so that they could climb up the ladder. You know what I mean? But now you're punishing people when people leave your room and go to university. And then they put the university fees up. You know what I mean? God damn. Every time poor people try to fucking lift themselves up out of the fucking swamp, the mire that they're in, the government comes in and taxes you for it. Do you see them taxing fucking businesses? But oh, so you've got like a huge, gigantic area of shite that you just park your cars in. You don't build any buildings on it and make any equity out of it and pay taxes on it, the government. Why don't we just tax parking lots? You know what I mean? Why didn't they bring that in? Why didn't they start taxing parking lots? Well, because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, almost anywhere you go now, you have to pay to fucking park. It used to be, you know, I remember the 80s, you could drive into a hospital, park your car, go into the hospital, get seen by a doctor, come out, get your car, never paid a penny. Now you drive in there's fucking big machines everywhere saying it's fucking, you know, $3.50 a fucking hour, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, they are making so much because they're privatised. All the parking lots outside, they're privatised it, rather than the government just saying the hospital has to pay a fucking tax on it, you know what I mean? It's like, just pay a tax, you know what I mean? I don't know, 1 pence a fucking square foot or some fucking thing. And then they could just say to people, yeah, you come in, oh, did you park the car? Yes, you have to pay £1.50. No, you're paying fucking £3.50 a fucking hour. You know what I mean? What the fuck? I mean, like, come on.
Now, many of the things you just mentioned sound very much like Ronald Reagan's philosophy.
Yes, except that Reagan promised people instant gratification. He said everything's going to be okay. We should stop feeling bad about ourselves. We should feel good again. We should congratulate one another and ourselves all the time. And you deserve more, and I'm going to give it to you, and you won't have to pay any taxes for getting it. And you can now see the consequences of that with the deficit and with the resulting summit fiasco at Venice and many other unpleasant consequences that we are, I think, not going to be very long finding out about. With Thatcher, it's been rather different. She promised people sacrifice and pain. She said the country's been rotting in mediocrity for a long time. It's been paying itself more than it can earn. I'm going to turn the cold shower on all of you. And I think she actually wouldn't have minded turning it on to everybody, but this is a class-divided country that Jeremy and I come from, and it doesn't fall on everyone.
That's it. It didn't fall on it fell on the poor. It fell on everybody who didn't earn fucking money from stocks and shares, bank interest, anybody who owned a company could claim tax back. It fell on everybody except them, right? That's what Thatcher did. It was Reaganomics, but it was Thatcher Reaganomics designed for the country of Britain, and it fucked us. It fucked the whole country up. And we've never recovered from Thatcher. Honestly, we have never recovered from Thatcher. And I don't see us recovering yet from Thatcher now with Europe. Fuck. It's just compounded the fucking ridiculous fucking ass that Thatcher was. Listen to fucking Reagan and bringing Reaganomics to Britain under Thatcheromics. It just, we have still not recovered from the 1980s. Still haven't recovered.
And the most vivid impression I find returning home, as I often do, is how pitiless that has been, and how people who used to be only poor are now really very poor, and how people who understood seasonal unemployment are now out of work perhaps forever, or have never had a job, and how...
yeah, that's the thing. We never used to have like generational unemployment in Britain till Thatcher came around. I mean, people that grow up in a poor family, their whole view is, I do not want to be like my parents. I want to get out and get away from this. Yeah. But Thatcher institutionalised generational poverty. She did. She institutionalised it, and that's what I fucking hate about her.
All that kind of thing has become a great deal more severe, and social and racial and regional divisions have all become much more acute.
Jeremy, do you agree with that assessment?
I think Christopher's correct in some of what he's saying, but I'm not sure to what extent, where there are problems that he's indicated, they can...
We're not talking about your problems in America. He's talking about Britain. And do you understand? This guy doesn't understand anything about it. He's there having a conversation with someone who understands two different societies. And he only understands the American society and maybe a couple of political points about, what was going on with political leaders and whether they got elected or not, and the kind of sort of like campaigns they ran. But you've got no idea about living in Britain. Absolutely none. And it's obvious here when he talks about it. He didn't fucking understand what fucking Hitchens is talking about.
Can really be properly held to be the responsibility of the Conservative Party. My point there really is that a number of the problems, particularly of unemployment of a structural kind in some of the British industries, which has fallen particularly heavily on some regions, is something which, as far as I can see, any government would be grappling with, and where it's really very difficult to see how, in a sense, you could do much different from what the present government has done. Granted that the present government has acted in a more precipitate way, and so certain things which might possibly have been handled more smoothly over a longer period have been faced.
Exactly. He did mention it, and I've been thinking about this. Thatcher could have came in and says, we have a systemic problem with the way that we are running our country and the way our industries work. We know that these industries are going to go out of business over the next fucking, 5 to 10 years. So maybe we take some money from fucking bankers and shit like that, and we invest in retraining. We actually try to, we have maybe a sort of a campaign, an advertisement campaign to get people not to go into the coal and the car industries and get them to go to college. So maybe we put out there, £500 million across Britain to encourage young people to go to college. You know what I mean? Thatcher could have done this. She could have said, we're going to pay you to go to college. And if you get a fucking HND or an HNC, you know what I mean? HNC and then HND, we're going to give you a bonus of 500 quid if you get an HNC, £1,000 if you get an HND, and we're going to pay for you half your college fee. Well, the college fees back then, university, a degree. If you go and do a degree after getting an HNC and HND, we're going to make it free for you. The government will pay your fucking degree to become a doctor, you know what I mean, to become a paramedic, to become a fucking engineer, to become a fucking physicist, I mean, she could have spent money on getting people to stop going into the coal industry and the fucking car industry, you know what I mean. She could have paid for them to become proper engineers, PhD, degree, engineers, doctors, you know what I mean, physicists. We could have been the brains of the fucking world. Okay, that you don't stay here, you go and work in America because you've got a degree and they're the people that need you, you know what I mean? We paid for you, but you go there, you invent something, and then your family lives in Britain, you come back, you fucking buy them a house, you know what I mean? You put money into them, you buy your sister a car, you pay for her to go to college. Look, this is what... God damn! Thatcher could have fucking boosted Britain into the fucking future as one of the most fucking intelligent and one of the most educated places in the fucking world. But no. What'd she do? Told people you've got to fucking, find your own way out of it. You've got to... It's like the Americans. You've got to drag yourself up from your bootstraps. The government's not responsible. Yeah, the government is responsible. You shut down the fucking coal mines. You instigated the coal mines closing down by fucking, refusing them the ability to fucking, picket and all that. You bought coal from fucking foreign countries and brought it in ships and let our coal mines flood. That's what Thatcher did. God damn.
This more quickly. The difficulty was that I guess you could say that those very sectors of Britain's economy have been in a long period of decline, which started before the Second World War. They got a temporary boost from the conditions immediately after the Second World War. Problems really were never got to grips with, and it's not clear to me that it really does politically to point the finger at Mrs. Thatcher and say how terrible these things are, when it's just not clear that there really is an alternative.
We'll be taking your calls in just a few moments. The numbers will be listed throughout the show at the bottom of the screen, and it'll, like I said, we'll be taking them in about 5 minutes. Before then, we're going to run a clip of some BBC coverage from last.
I need to plug my. See what he. I'm going to go back a wee bit and fucking listen to the last fucking couple of things he said.
Really were never got to grips with, and it's not clear to me that it really does politically to point the finger at Mrs. Thatcher and say how terrible these things are, when it's just not clear that there really is an alternative.
Well, that was 1987, right? I can guarantee you there was a fucking alternative to what Thatcher did. I've already expressed it. She could have fucking invested in the fucking population, the British people. My fucking God, have you ever watched any fucking history programs about how kings, when they ruled the fucking country, instilled fucking the staunch fucking idea that us Brits against the French, against fucking Germany, we are the people, we can win, you know what I mean? What did Thatcher do? No, it's all about international economics and bringing in American fucking ideas and listening to the Germans. What kind of fucking leader was she? Wasn't a fucking British leader. She didn't fucking support the fucking British people. She didn't instill in them a fucking idea of, like, Britishness. No. What she instilled in them is, we have to put lots of money into the marketplaces. We have to put money in the banks. Trickle-down economics is going to save the world. We've been trying trickle-down economics for 50 fucking years, and it still hasn't worked. One fucking king took people from fucking Britain across the channel and conquered a whole third of fucking France by telling them that we can do better than these assholes. What the fuck? She ruled the country for 15 fucking years and couldn't sort shit out. What the fuck? Goddamn conservatives with their fucking puerile fucking crap. There's no other option. We just got to do what we think's good. No. You can look at it from a point of view of how do we improve the people of Britain? Not the banks and the corporations. How do we fix their fucking finances? No, how do you fix the finances of every individual person in fucking Britain? Trickle-down economics doesn't work. You need to invest in people. You need to say to people, you know what? We think that you're smart. You've got the highest score in your school. So the government's going to give you free access to fucking 4 years of fucking university education. That's what you do. Oh my fucking God. How many fucking lame ass motherfuckers have went through fucking university in Britain and university in America and came out as stupid motherfuckers with the lamest stupid fucking degree that they could get, and they say, oh well, I got a degree from this university. Yeah, was it a good degree? Donald Trump, I mean, how much is he fucking lauded? The college he went to and the university. What's his fucking scores? Let's compare his scores against my fucking scores. Guarantee I'm a smarter fucking bastard than he is. He made money how? By fucking borrowing money and not paying it back? I've never done that. I don't borrow money. I save money up and use my money to fucking do shit. I don't fucking borrow money and then refuse to pay it back. I save my money as I work, and I fucking pay for what I fucking earn. You know what I mean? If only the government, when I was fucking growing up, was willing to pay for me to go to university, I'd probably have been at university before I was fucking 40. But I couldn't afford it until I was 40. You know what I mean? What the fuck? Goddamn fucking assholes. So what was I going to do? Right, I got that, and then I was going to go and do fucking something. I've got to go and... Right. I'm going to come back. We'll talk about this again, right? I'm going to pause. It's paused already. I'm going to stop the stream and I'm going to make a second stream, right? As long as you fucking valor, fucker, will be back. We'll